back again. And today, with the changing of the seasons, I think we've noticed that things have gradually started to settle. I've certainly noticed that it's not horrifically humid on a night time, and trying to get to sleep, it was nasty. I was sitting with my feet in a bowl of ice water one night just to chill myself out. It was horrific trying to get to sleep in that. And then of course we've got this storm coming, the back end of one of the hurricanes that's been over in the States. So I'm not one of these ones that puts stuff in another cupboard and then brings it out depending on the season and that, but you're saying you're bringing out your winter stuff, putting your summer stuff away?
Well, it's funny because we were just discussing the fact that, we all have our own little habits and things, and I just come up with this subject, and I thought to myself, well, it's like it's not really a subject because it's just normal to me, and then I realised after talking to you, oh, good lord, I am strange to a point, and so the story sort of goes is that if we take this let's call it a summer, so June, very very hot, July terribly rainy, August mediocre, September wasn't great, but we had what should we call it, an Indian summer in September where we had a week.
It's been a bit random, hasn't it? It's been hoying it down one day, then roasting the next, and
so we had that lovely little hot spurt in September, and I was away for that, and then all of a sudden the weather changed, and it almost felt like overnight. I remember coming in here in the little man shed and thinking, flipping it, it's cold this morning. Yeah. And it just triggered me into, right, I'm going to swap me wardrobes over, and so what do you mean, Mark? What, you swapping your wardrobes over? Well, in between me and the neighbour, we have a couple of rooms where we've got our clothes, and I have what I would call a summer wardrobe and then a winter wardrobe, and so in my summer wardrobe is a lot of shorts and t-shirts and that sort of gear, and then I got it in my head, right, I'm going to swap them over because it's moving into sort of the winter time. And while I was doing the swap over, I pulled out the wardrobe, what I'd put in, let's just say March, April, as my summer clothes. And I realised that going through it, a lot of them, I'd never even worn. I'd never worn them. So, and some of these stuff is brand new, and I'll be honest enough to admit that some of the stuff I bought in Thailand, shorts and t-shirts, and I'm never wearing them. And then I started thinking, okay, you've got to, on that basis, Mark, you've got to make a decision that some of it's got to be binned. So, because I know I never wore it, I've got to bin it. So then I went through it and I was just like, all right, all the stuff that I didn't touch in the summer is going in the bin. So I pulled it out and put it in the bin, and Anita did the same. So we had this big sort of charity basket of stuff. And so I binned a lot of it, and it just made me start to think a little bit deeper of, some of those purchases that were made in the past. Are some of those emotional purchases, or are they just like, oh, it's cheap, so I'll just buy it? It doesn't matter whether it's summer or winter. Do you find yourself picking that bargain up from Next or Asda or whatever, and thinking, well, I'll wear that, but I might not wear it?
Do you get a fix sometimes when you ooh, I'll buy myself one of them, or I'll buy myself that shirt? You never wear it, but do you get an emotional fix sometimes by buying certain things? Or I know you like with your trainers and that.
Yeah,
you like your trainers.
I think it's less so about what it is; it's more so about the winning. So if it's on a sale, I think I know Next are on sale at the moment or whatever, and if I thought I was going to win, I'd probably buy it. But I've found myself recently going into the store and picking up the sale items and going, "What are you doing? It makes no sense to make this purchase now."
Because it's a sale, you see it as a win, rather than seeing the fact that, well, I'm buying something I don't need. No, but I'm saving. Yeah. No, you're not saving a tenner. You're spending a tenner.
Yeah, and if you're like me, Simon, I've worked out that even it doesn't matter winter or summer, the same 3 to 5 items I like wearing.
Yeah, you got your favourites, haven't you?
Yeah. I've got my favourites, and on my same pair of tracksuit bottoms that I know I'm going to put in the wash this week, and they're going to come out next week, and I'll be on. And
All right.
so you get into that bit where if I've got clothes in 2 rooms, there's something wrong with me, isn't there?
Well, if you've got a room, like you know that if you were to move house, the placement of your clothes would be a consider. Well, we need a room for the clothes, don't we? I mean, that then costs you money because you need a different size house to accommodate stuff.
So,
right?
And it makes no sense, does it, Simon? Because we worked in logistics, and when finance people were saying, "Oh, we can't write this off because it's worth money." No, it's actually costing you money to store it.
And we've said this,
Yeah.
right? So that's the irony that in our professions we've made these decisions, or made other people make these decisions.
Yeah.
You get back home, so you've got a whole room just for clothes.
Have you seen this show with Stacey Solomon, and it's about hoarders? You probably want to see it. But
I've seen one or two where she convinces them to put different boxes and actually quite efficiently organises some of the rooms.
Yeah.
And gets some of the people in to do it. Yeah.
But at which point do I realise I've become a secret hoarder?
You can't let it go, Mark.
I can't let it go. You wouldn't let it lie.
Wouldn't let it lie.
Yeah. So you know what was interesting, Simon, about it is that the process of binning it, although it was initially quite hard, because I looked at some stuff and I thought, Mark, you've never worn them, and I binned them, and actually the self-satisfaction of binning them and clearing out.
There's a win in it, isn't there?
There is a win in it.
I've moved a lot of houses in my life. I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
And every time I've got rid of something more. And the last couple, I just got fed up of picking up a bag I hadn't seen in ages, going, what's in it? And this clear out, I binned. Well, I say I binned. I took a whole bunch of stuff, like duplicate DVDs of some of my favourite. Why have I got? Well, someone gave us them and didn't want to hire them out, so they gave them to me. They mean they landed them on you. Aye. So I've got box sets, and I had 2 sets of these box sets because it was my favourite show. Someone was giving them away and went, "Do you want these?" And I went, "Yeah." So
without thinking,
yeah, exactly. I went, I haven't watched that in ages. You've got them in the house? Nah, it's not the same. So this time, I just saw the van and I went, I'm probably going to have... How have I got 2 vans worth of... Like, if you set aside the big stuff, the sofa and that, how have I got this much? No.
Yeah.
No, so the last couple of moves have just been absolutely brutal. Do I play on that console? No. Will someone play? Yeah. Charity shop. I even bought a skip once when I was living a bit further towards Whitley Bay. And the stuff, I half filled it. Like, where was all that stuff? My house didn't seem that full, but I had bags of this and clothes of that, old stuff, and it's amazing the stuff you kind of... I had all this attachment to, but what I didn't expect was that emotional release when I got rid of it.
I tell you what I'm finding fascinating is that I'm a summer person. I love summer. I don't really like winter and the mood, the whole thing. So I avoid. I think for many years I've avoided the changeover. So I like sitting in my shorts and t-shirt, and you know, to the point where you're like, should we put the heating on? And Anita rightly would say to us, "Are you for real? You sat there in a pair of shorts and t-shirt, and you could just put a jumper and a pair of joggers on, Mark." And I'm like, "No, but it's cold." And it's me subconsciously avoiding the fact that I don't want to go into winter. So this time, I've made the transition. You know what I've done? I've made the transition. And last night, I took my top off, and she says, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm a bit warm." And she went, "What?" I said, "I'm actually a bit warm." And because I've forced myself into the change into the winter mentality, it seems to be because also on that, when we know it's a bit tough out there in terms of money, so if I was on my own, my probably desire would be to put the heating on earlier than it's actually needed to go on, because I'm refraining from coming out of that summer mentality. Um, yeah, so it's cost a bit of money. So the fact that I've changed into my winter wardrobe early, I've got me bigger jumpers, I've got me joggers out, and I've got them on now. I'm actually feeling warm where I wouldn't normally. So
Yeah.
we're going to save a bit of money.
Yeah, I was feeling a bit cold, and I'm sat here in me. So I've got these sort of long shorts. They're like the stuff you might go weight training in.
Yeah,
These Lonsdale long short things.
yeah, exactly.
Feet were cold. Put socks on.
Yeah,
But I'm keeping the shorts on, keeping the t-shirt on. I've got a dressing gown, and then I'm like, well, my hands are a bit chilly because on night time it cools down a bit. At the minute I'm like, nah. I've got about 6 blankets.
it was
I've
it was
got a
one
higher
of.
blanket on than higher there.
I know it's slightly digressing, but I bought one of those heated gilets last year, and I was thinking about it because you could charge it on a power bank, and if you're on your own, you're struggling for money, and you're heating your whole house with a central heating on. You've not got great, what they're called thermostatic radiator valves. You've not got great ones of them. Why wouldn't you put a heated gilet on? It makes sense to keep yourself warm rather than the bloody whole house. But
Oh yeah, the variable TRVs.
yeah, they're very. I mean, they're good, but you're still heating the pipes on the way up and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I mean the heat still goes through. It's just that it's
Yeah,
No,
but
I think
it's just as we head towards the winter months. I think because they're cutting the government aid this year, aren't they? There's no government aid for whatnot.
I got a £500 refund on mine earlier this year. I only put the heating on 3 times during the winter.
Did you?
Yeah, I went out and bought blankets I went to Dunelm
Yeah.
and bought a shed load of blankets. So I've got the likes of this thing.
A fleecy
Mum
one.
gave us this one.
Nice.
Gave us this for Christmas, and I've got these massive. I bought the biggest one they had. It was something like a £5 for this massive.
It's nice.
It's huge.
Sat
I
on the
bought 2 of
seat.
them.
Ready.
And then me, my mum saw I was buying a load, and I went, "Do you know what it is? Is it better to spend £5, £10, £20 on a bunch of blankets than it was to spend a few £100 having the gas on?" Now I stick it on now and again because you don't want the whole thing to freeze up, and
No.
of course you've got Legionnaires that builds up in there as well, so you have to cycle hot water through it. So right, look, I'll put it on 2 or 3 times, and to be fair, the night that I did, I was like, ooh, that's kind of nice. Walking through the house, it's not just one room that's warm that you can just walk through. It's not frozen in the kitchen.
Yeah.
As my mum says, "Oh, it's frozen, absolutely frozen." So 2 or 3 times, but I saved an absolute packet because as soon as you get into the warmer months, I mean, they had me on 60-odd quid a month, and that was just the gas, and it just kept going up to 70-odd quid a month, 80-odd quid, and then by the time we got to sort of middle of summer, I was giving me meter readings, and they were barely changing, if at all. I mean, there was a stretch of 3 or 4 months it didn't change because the only time I was putting the hot water on was, maybe to have a wash or wash the dishes. But me, 7 minutes. 7 minutes in the shower. That's it.
Yeah.
In, out. Got a routine, a procedure.
That's it.
So I was barely using it. Except when I needed hot water. And I ended up getting this massive refund, and they've knocked me down to 20 quid a month. My electric mind. Absolute bonkers.
Oh, I bet. For you.
Absolutely bonkers. Yeah, well, the telly's never off.
I was going to say.
And I'm up. Sometimes I'm up 24 hours before I decide to go to sleep. So you can imagine the electric I burn. I sleep with the telly on as well, so I compromise, and I've left a timer on it so it goes off while I'm asleep. Computer. And I've tried to leave the house a bit more often and turn everything off. I turn everything off in the kitchen, so microwave is always off. Cookers always all these different things. That I think, what's the point in leaving them all these things on standby? Even the toaster burns just a little bit of a trickle of electric.
If they've got a clock on them, probably worthwhile, isn't it? Yeah.
But even the toaster's doing something, even when you're not toasting. So just turn it all off. So I did.
Yeah.
I did, but the electric bill is still absolutely monstrous. Although it's supposed to be coming down September and October. A couple of £100 a year.
Yeah.
So
I'm prepped for the winter now.
Are you the only one that swaps your stuff out?
No, Anita does, but I think if I put it in context, I keep my clothes in a small room in a very small cupboard. There's not a lot of space in it, so I do admit I've got far too many pairs of trainers, but I haven't bought any trainers in the last 3 or 4 years.
Really?
No, never bought
3 or 4 years.
No, just
was swapping stuff over a family thing, or just something you started doing? Is that like something you?
No, to be fair, for me, I think I've only started doing it the last couple of years, because I was sort of constrained with space, so I just had it in a different place, and I kept some of it in a suitcase.
Oh, so was it a way of splitting your clothes up?
Yeah.
To make better use of the space.
Yeah, a little bit that way, and then I've got things like business wear versus casual wear. So you they're in separate places.
Keep for best.
Yeah, keep for best.
Keep it for best.
Shoes versus trainers. Shoes that I'm wearing at the front door. Trainers that I'm not wearing or elsewhere.
I don't own a pair of shoes. I was thinking about interviews and whatnot. I thought, hold on a minute. When I lost all that weight, I took all my chinos and various other things to the charity shop. I'll hide them in the charity bin, they have at supermarkets.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I even have a pair of trousers. The only shoes I've got are those big clodhoppers, that people go walking in.
Oh yeah.
It was back in the day. That's how I bought that massive coat. Because we went up to Kielder and it was absolutely frozen. But we were going up to see the night sky. It turns out that the observatory was closed. It looked like it was open on a website, but went up there, it was shut. Tell you what, it gets dark. I mean, dark. You took the dog, right, and you had the dog off the lead. And all of a sudden, we couldn't see him. It was that dark. He was wandering about. We had to get our phones out with the light on.
Catch his eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he could see us, so he was about. So you ended up buying him one of them LED collars. But it gets pitch black. Once your eyes get adjusted, it is proper dark up there. But that's the only shoes I've got is them clodhoppers. I don't have. I've got a pair of Converse and a pair of cheap trainers. And that's it. So I thought, if I'm going for interviews, rather than, because it's all been online so far, but if I'm going to have to physically turn up, I'm not yet. So I'm going to have to go over to Sainsbury's or somewhere, get myself some
size are you?
Shoes. Depends.
Not Jimmy Choos, but shoes.
Depends. It's just somewhere between 9 and 10, depending on how they fit.
Yeah.
Inside leg though, trying to find the right waist with because I've got a 30 inside leg, so I haven't got particularly long legs. Bear in mind I'm 5'7", so I mean I'm not your height. What are you, like 5'10", 6 foot, something like that?
6'1".
6'1", aye. So finding the right combination of
185 and a half, 186. Yeah.
Aye, it's
metric period.
It's one. Is it 170? 170 or something for me. Something like that. So I'm gonna have to go out and buy some nice clothes. I've still got all my shirts.
Yeah.
My brushed cotton shirts from Marxie's. Best work shirts I have ever worn. Because just feeling that texture on your skin is amazing. None of that nylon or polyester bollocks. It was an absolute game changer. Took all of my shirts, all of them, to the charity shop.
Yeah.
And I bought enough of these for 1 day a week plus one.
I love brush cotton. It's brilliant.
Oh, especially if you get a chuck some Lenore in with a wash.
Lenore.
Make sure it's all nice, smells nice, and it's all soft and that. Honestly, absolute revelation buying them shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like with textures on my skin and that, but these things were. Ooh, when I tried that on, bought it immediately.
Have you got brush cotton bedding?
No.
Well, we've got brush cotton, but she won't put them on because, as a phrase like she uses, it sweats me tits off. She only saves it for special occasions for me when it's getting really cold. But I love the brush cotton bedding. It's brilliant.
I can't imagine using silk. Can you imagine the sheets would just move all over the place because there's no friction.
Well, it's just
I can't
cold.
imagine.
Brush cotton is warm when you get in automatically.
It'd be a bit like wearing a fleece in bed, wouldn't it?
Yes, exactly. And she won't let me have the top and the bottom. It has to be one or the other.
Can you imagine wrapping yourself in?
Oh, it's just brilliant, honestly, Simon.
Brush cotton.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to find some.
When we're rich and famous, we're getting top and bottom brush cotton.
Aye. You can buy her another bed.
I'll buy her another bed.
Tell you what, we'll take the clothes out the other room and we'll put another bed in it.
I'll tell you what, I've got so many brush cotton shirts, I'm going to make myself a duvet cover out of them.
Brush cotton sheets.
Yeah, have loads of arms, loads of places to put your arms.
Aye.
Yeah.
So you can reach for the telly remote.
That's it.
Aye. I didn't know you could get brush cotton sheets.
Honestly, get them.
I have to go to the range. The range or Dunelm.
Get the range or Dunelm and you'll love it.
Aye.
I got a brush cotton sheet off Amazon, was about 4p. I'm slightly exaggerating, but it was cheap and it was really good.
Well, they're putting all the sheets under lock and key in Dunelm at the minute because everybody's nicking them, aren't they? So
have they? I thought it was a joke.
Did you see that? Oh, do you see that in the news?
25% up on thieving at the minute, or something, isn't it?
Aye, and it's people just shoving the duvet collections and whatnot under their shirt, just walking out with them. So they apparently put them under lock and key, but they said that about Lurpak. Oh, it's got a security tag on it. I go into Sainsbury's or Tesco, Asda around here. It's still £2 odd. And are there any security tags on them? No.
We're going to make everything like Argus. Just hand it over when you get there.
Well, I need some.
I want some Lurpak. There you are.
Aye.
No, why not?
Hilarious. Can you imagine that? Ordering your food from Argos.
Yeah. All right, all good.
Get your nectar points though.
Yeah.
Right. So recording again on Friday, so we'll have another 2 out next week.
Yeah.
We're still a little bit fluid about where it's going to be. I did have another topic, but it might be Russell Brand. I might have to cover it. I think we haven't done a serious one in a while.
No.
That's not to say that we couldn't poke some holes in it and see what the crack is. But until then, do some likes and subscribes. Head over to some of our channels and have a poke about. Some challenging comments. I may or may not delete them, obviously. Well, I haven't done that on Facebook, so it's only the really weird ones on. There's some weird people on Instagram, but anyway. Until then, take care.